Okay, good evening, folks, and welcome to the Tour du Monde 2023 edition. And tonight it's the final stage and the final run of the Tour du Monde. Now, we've already had quite an exciting day. We had the big hitters going this morning at 7 o'clock, where John Beams took the win quite convincingly. And then at the lunchtime slot, we had his compatriot Henrik Mad going. Now, Henrik wasn't feeling very well this weekend, but still managed to hold off a strong challenge and took the win. So this evening, it's all about can Simon um, Skirple hang on to his third place. Anyway, we're underway. Let's see what happens. But we could see some tactics on this run in because we've got a really good turnout from OTR again. Uh, we've got plenty of 3R guys obviously wanting to help Simon. So let's see how it plays out. Um, I think because we're straight into the climb, it's going to thin out. Well, you can see that on screen. I don't need to even say it. It's going to string out very early on, and I think we're going to see that for the majority of the race. Um, excuse me. Riders in small groups, basically. I think, but I'm counting one, two, three, four, five 3R riders in this front group, and a good contingent of OTR as well. And who have we got on the front? We got the 3R rider Murtau leading them out at the moment. But I think the riders are basically going to be settling in on this first climb. And then we've got quite a nice downhill that takes them back into the valley before we start the pretty steep middle climb. So we're watching OTR actually taking up the running at the moment. Um, Neil Walker, Kevin Barclay's there. And OTR are keeping a close eye on it as well at the front. So um, where is Simon Kirple? Ah, there he is. He's just taking over the front now as we speak. I think Simon will measure his effort this evening. I'm fairly convinced that he won't push off the front in the early part of the race. I think he's got Jan Vanner to help him. He's a very strong rider. So I think 3R will more or less be the ones that boss this in the early part of the race. And in fact, as I say that, you can see there's only really two teams in it now in this front group, and that's OTR with four, and what we got, five members from 3R. So this is pretty good. Now we've got Paul Newton. Sorry, yes, Paul Newton in the 3R colours. We've got Simon Kirple, Jan Vanner from No Pins. We've got Hughes, OTR, Carruthers, Oystenson. who else have we got there? Giordano, just dropping off the back slightly at the moment. Needs to get back onto this group. So already we're seeing a sort out of the order. Are you there, Andy? I can't.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Are you still listening then?
Yep,
Good.
sorry.
It's just you'd gone quiet, that's all. Thought I was talking to myself.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be team tactics, or do you just see it playing out?
This is definitely a battle between OTR and 3R.
Yeah, I can see that quite obviously.
And I think 3R want it. They're going to protect Simon's third place in GC.
Yeah. I mean, we've only got two other riders, one from Rasio. Don't know who that is at the moment. Let's see if we can find him. Is that Carruthers, the Rasio rider?
That's Carruthers, yes.
It is.
Yep, definitely.
And then we've got
Saf
in the blue jersey. And apart from that, the rest are OTR and 3R.
Yeah, JS has joined as well. He's next to Carruthers.
Ah, okay. Okay, yeah. So yeah, a pretty small select group off the front. And I think as you say, there's going to be a lot of protection for Simon, but I can see this group splitting up once we get a little bit further into the stage as well, and perhaps a couple of riders probably taking a shot off the front. But we'll stay with this group until they get to the top of this climb and see what happens, and then we'll have a look further down the field. I don't think we're far from the top of this first climb, so we'll stay with them, see what happens.
Yeah, so it's very similar to the third group, the one that went at 12. You had Henrik off at the front, then a group of 4, 3 even, and then a group of 3 as well, 4 as well.
Okay.
So it whittled down from 45 through to effectively 4 by the start of the third climb.
Wow. Well, I'd expect even less than 4 to be there at the base of the final climb.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're looking at maybe a rider out front with a couple of chasers. But we'll see. I mean, it's really a case of can Simon keep a high pace and the others stay with him? Because I think once he gets into his stride, he will probably be a bit too strong for some of these other riders. But this is a really good showing from OTR. Really. On GC, who's the danger to Simon? Is there anybody close enough realistically to catch him?
Not really.
No, I didn't think there was. So I remember looking earlier and thinking, well, the first, second, and third, if Simon finishes tonight, are basically sewn up. I think there's a couple of places lower down the order that could be up for grabs. But even that, the pretty significant gaps.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
Okay. So this is what I meant by watching them going over the climb, because once they get into this descent proper, which we're at 6% now descent, it's really a case of can they stay together as a group, and it looks like they're doing a half decent job of doing so. Let's have a look and see. They've managed to drop Saf, I notice. If you just tab back to the back of this group, you can see Saf is now off the back. There he is, and Paul Austin as well.
Yep. So the only one that's close in this group for this particular race is Kevin Barkley. In 8th in GC.
And currently 6th in this group, so he's having a good race.
Yes.
Staying with the leaders. Okay, let's have a look a bit further down the field then, because the leaders are all together at the front and let's just see what's happening behind. We've got Giordano we're watching on screen now, and then behind Giordano we've got a 3R rider and an OTR rider. So we've got 3R and then OTR, Neil Walker following him.
Yep.
It looks like there's a catch here on the downhill, but I think the 3R rider's just gone straight past. Yeah, he has. So not hanging about Murtaugh.
No, he's got quite a lot to catch up on though.
Yeah, 480 metres, so that's a bit of an ask. But there's plenty of time to do it in. This is a nice downhill, so let's work his way further back. And you've got a group of 5 here with Oystenson, Tim Moss, Parnay, Holder, and Sanderson.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice little group here. But again, the 125 metres, a little bit less now from that couple of riders in front. They are going to catch them actually, so they're going to join up with these 2 riders in front, and then they may well ride together for a spell. I think we'll see a catch before too long. 75 metres and
yeah, they're not really pushing.
no, I was just about to say that they're not really pushing the big watts, are they? So no. It's the gap is being maintained at about 75 metres and not closing. So I don't know. Maybe they'll just roll into the bottom of the valley and then start to push it. Still not coming down, so they're still, both groups are doing about the same.
Yeah, they're just coasting home.
Yeah, exactly. I think the word here, Andy, is saving themselves till later in the ride, because
yes, I should have said that.
It's definitely a tough course, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
That climb, I haven't watched it, but that climb in the middle looks absolutely steep.
Yeah, the steep bit on the 3rd climb is right at the end when it gets to 14%.
Wow. So a 14% finish right at the death. That's going to test a few legs then.
Yep. The last 300 metres.
Yeah. And here's the catch. As I said, the closer they get to the bottom of the valley, so there's the catch. They should join up now and ride together. So let's have a look and see what's happening behind them. Donaldson. And he's just in front of a small group behind him. So 4 riders chasing, and they're gonna tag him, so they'll catch up with Donaldson, and then he'll join this small group.
Yep.
You got Paul Padell here, Slater, Marx, and Soderbergh even. Surprised to see Soderbergh this far back in the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pear's been very strong.
Yeah. So, but I have noticed over this last weekend there's been an awful lot of technicals, hasn't there?
Yes.
So I think a lot of riders have been caught out. And whether that's just technicals or whether it's something else, I really don't know. But we do seem to have had quite a lot of issues during this tour.
Yeah, I've raised Peter's technical that he had yesterday with that really big pullback with RGT, and their developers are going to be looking at it.
Okay. Because, I can't help think Peter's the one that's lost out in this tour. Remember that first dropout he had, which knocked him off second place?
Yep.
And then he's had a couple more since. It's just, I don't know. There's not a lot you can do when you get that kind of bad luck. It's pretty sad. But it looks like there's a catch here, but only a partial catch, because it looks like some of these riders. Here they go.
Yep.
So they're all coming together. This is nice. They can work together along the valley floor now. You've got a nice little group going here. Let's just very quickly, Andy, work his way backwards and see what's happening behind. See if we can catch up with the next series of riders. We've got Stolar here, but we're going to move his way back down through the field, folks, in fairly quickly. We've got Mike Weston and Ploiter riding together here.
Yeah, Lutz has been extremely strong throughout this series.
Yes.
For OTR Blue.
And then we've got I don't recognise this rider, Pablos.
Nope.
Spanish rider.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think he's a new one to me. And as I say
technical.
that, look, he's either having a dropout or he's freewheeling.
It's awful, isn't it?
Is he freewheeling or has he got a dropout?
It looks like a dropout, but
yeah, it looks like a dropout, doesn't it?
yeah, not good. Really not good.
And then behind him we've got Geona. He's looking nice and strong. And then there's a small group of three just behind, giving us a wave. This is Cavilius, Jans Drost, and Predigan. And they're catching up with the rider in front, Geona. So the four of them will join forces here, I'm pretty sure. But then it's a fair old gap to the next rider, which is Furman, and he's in nowhere land. He's a good distance off those riders in front, as you can see. Can't see them on the road. And then behind him, you've got a fair old gap to the next three riders, Velosa, Berm Reynolds, and Astar, riding together. And we're getting towards the very end of the field here now, as we watch Lavelle on the road, the OTR rider. Then you've got Haupt just behind him. I'm saying just behind him, 300 metres behind him, putting in the red numbers, so he's obviously putting in an effort here to try and get back up the field. But this is a tough ask for the lad.
He's got power but no cadence.
High cadence and high wattage.
Well, there's no cadence.
Oh, okay.
It's on 0.
It's on 0, isn't it? Yeah.
So he's got power. And no
Very
HR.
strange.
Maybe another technical, but he's doing quite well.
Yeah, but he's staying in the red for
Quite a while.
without dropping down for quite a while here. So we'll keep an eye on Haupt as see whether he actually climbs up the field. Let's have a look behind him anyway. We've got Elliot, the OTR rider. He's in the middle of nowhere at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on Haupt because he's still in the red, so I think there's an issue there.
Yep.
But I'll keep an eye on him as we watch down the field. We've got Jeff just behind. And then we've got Gottman and Flegel riding together.
They're the last two.
And they're the last two. So let's go back to the front, Andy, have a quick look and see what's happening. All together, we've got Roger Hughes leading them out. This is good riding by OTR.
Absolutely.
Very impressed with this effort. And they're on this short pull up this climb. So 20 minutes in, they've done a fair amount of climbing already, but the two biggest ones have yet to come.
And they dropped Carruthers.
How many we got in this front group? 6? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I can see this group being whittled down even more, but it's nice to see all the main, well, I hasten to say the word all the main contenders, but yeah, the two really that we're going to be looking at is Kevin Barclay and Simon Kerpel. So it'll be interesting to see whether when this group does split, they can make the break.
Yeah, Hughes is doing a huge amount at the front for Kevin.
He is, yeah, a very big pull here.
Awesome.
Really good riding. And Newton is really putting in an effort to get on his wheel and to pull the others up to him. So this is good riding, Andy. I like this. I like what I'm seeing. This is two teams really, you know, working well. It's nice to see. I'm hoping they will stay together for at least until we get halfway into this next climb anyway. But like I said earlier in the broadcast, I genuinely think that Kerpel, Jan Vanner and Barclay may well be a little bit too strong and pull away as we get further into the ride. Or they could just ease, you know, they could be content with just keeping this pace and staying together as a group.
Time will tell.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way I've got it right so many times, so we'll see what happens. But I don't expect these 6 riders to stay together. I just don't. And it's not that there's weak riders here, they're all very strong riders, but I do think we'll see a push from the off the front, and that's going to break this small group up. I mean, just behind, they've dropped Carruthers. He's right in the middle now. He's 400 metres behind them and 220 metres in front of the group behind him. So if you just want to have a look at that,
Yep.
Carruthers is is not going to get back to that front group. And the question is going to be, can he be caught by the riders behind?
That'd be a yes.
I think it's a yes, yeah. I think this group, because you can clearly see Donaldson is being reeled in here. So you've got Donaldson out on his own, but not for long. He's 20 metres behind him. You've got a group chasing and about to make the catch. And once the catch is made, then I think they'll pull back Kurovas as well. In fact, Donaldson has got Kurovas in sight.
Yes.
But what you can't see on your screen at the moment, folks, until Andy tabs down, is this group just about to catch him. So here we go. This is the advantage of having two monitors, two views of the race. I can work on one monitor while Andy's successfully showing us the action on another.
Yeah, awesome.
So it just means we can keep an eye on things, and particularly having two views of the race can be very helpful when it gets into towards the finish. But yes, I think they will pull back Kurovas. They're 66 metres behind him. So I think we'll see a pullback there, and in fact you can see they've clearly got him in the sights. But who's this dropping off the back of this group? Oh no, he's got back on.
Yep.
Thought he was going to get dropped. And this is the catch. So.
And they are clawing back the front group.
Yeah. I can see that, yes, they're doing very well. So, I mean, look at that long steep downhill going into the last climb.
Yes.
We could see a change. Did any of the second, third groups manage to catch the front group in earlier editions of the race, or?
Nope, not at all.
No, not at all. So. It'll be interesting. Like I say, I expect the group in front to split, and if it does, there's no reason why we couldn't see some of these riders. But it's a tough ask, and we've got one rider. I think this is it Neil Walker that's been dropped off the back?
Yes, and then you got Murtaugh.
Yeah. And Murtaugh just behind him. So you've got an OTR and a 3R rider. They're about to join forces and maybe tag each other's wheels here.
No.
Or is Murtaugh going to prove too strong and just go past?
He's just gone
past.
Yeah.
Neil has done his work, maybe.
He's helped to bring OTR back into that effectively now second group.
Right.
So, yeah, a lot of hard work there.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to a big group like this is, as you see the catching. Who's this? The catching next?
So this is Donaldson going off from this group. So Donaldson helped them to catch Carruthers, and now he's gone off the front.
Carruthers has gone off the front?
No, Donaldson.
Okay. Donaldson, sorry, has gone off the front. Yeah, I'm seeing it on my other.
Yeah, Carruthers is at the bottom.
Donaldson's gone off the front, and we've got. What we got here now? We've got a fair old gap.
So 53 metres.
Sorry, go on, Andy.
Yeah, it's 53 metres.
Yeah, but look at the this group and Donaldson are actually pegging the front sixth riders.
Yep.
This is incredible riding. I mean, I do think the gap will go out again once they get on the climb, but this is very, very strong riding from Donaldson and the group behind.
Yeah, because the front group are getting onto that plateau of green.
Yeah.
So it will go out.
Let's see what happens when the front group get to the big climb, because, like I say, I think that's where we're going to see a change in the running order.
Excellent. Kevin's off for the front on his own.
Oh, let's go there then.
Yep.
Yes, he is.
That's the
wow, and I tell you what, he's pulled out a 40-odd metre gap, hasn't he?
Yep.
Impressive. Now then, can he keep this going when he gets to the climb? What's the? Can you have a look for me, Andy? What's the distance? What's the time between Kevin and Simon Kerpel?
Let me just check. Right, so 52 and 45, so 7 minutes.
I mean, it's possible. 7 minutes is possible on a course like this, but you'd have to say, I think Simon Kerpel will step up.
Yeah, and they're bringing it back now.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't see him losing 7 minutes. Not in the real world, anyway. But this has been a good effort by Kevin. Well done.
Yes.
And I mean that bodes well maybe for later on in the ride when we get to that second long section of green that you can see. If somebody could make a big push there and get into the last climb with a bit of a lead, anything could happen.
Yeah, I would say Kevin has to watch Jan Van, because Jan Van will just time trial Simon up the hill.
And in fact, that's what he's doing now, isn't it? Jan Van's pulling Kerpel back.
Yep.
Yeah. Very strong riding from the 3R boys, but from OTR, I mean.
Well, now it's 2 and 2. It is. 2 OTR and 2 3R.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, I said it would split, and what we got Hughes is 1, 2, 3 in 4th spot, and then we've got JS. He's the rider in the black jersey. He's what, 15 meters behind?
Yeah. So if we look,
as we look at the, you can just see he's just dropping off the back now. Now, can he actually close that gap, or is he going to drop back? Yeah, this is the split I expected to happen when they got onto this climb.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is a very, very good ride by Kevin, who again is just pulling out a small gap.
Yep.
But you're right, Andy. Vanner is just, I think he's just pacing himself. He's just, he's sat there, not panicking, pulling Simon Kerpel along. Yeah, he's just, in fact, they're both doing very similar watts, aren't they? So I don't think there's any reason to worry about Barkley at the moment. Although Kevin is putting in some real high numbers here.
Mm-hmm.
You saw him going into the red there, folks, and 5.1 now. So Kevin is really trying to make this stick and get a bit of a gap. And the great thing is that if he can take, a fairly decent lead into the top of this climb, just look at that downhill. Can he get away? But somehow I, I think they'll pull him back. I don't see this sticking, but I'd like to see it stick, obviously. And it does look like it's going to start ramping up very soon as well. So
Yeah, it's just bright red.
yeah, bright red 5.2, 5.5, 5.7. So he's really pushing the watts here. Great effort.
But if he doesn't get away, then he's gone into the red quite significantly.
Yeah, and we call it burning matches. Is he going to pay for it later? That's a valid point, Andy. And one I make quite a lot when I'm covering the individual team time trials, because you see a lot of riders doing that for the team, spending a long time on the front trying to pull the team along, and then towards the end they drop off. And one rider who's particularly good at doing that is James Ogilvy for his team.
Yep.
He'll absolutely bury himself, and more often than not he won't be one of the three to finish at the end of the ride because he's given so much. So that's the halfway point, folks, the banner that you've just seen them going under. Kevin's maintaining a 28-metre gap, but it's not really going out. I say that and he just grabs a couple more metres, but I don't see this saying that he's having a good go here. I mean, if he gets 50, 60 metres by the top, anything can happen. But are they going to peg him back, or is he going to take it even further?
Don't know. He's doing a cracking job though.
It's doing a very good job. What do you think? Do you think he's going to make this stick?
I'd like 3R to see if they can pull it back.
I think 3R will. I'll be honest. I don't see this sticking, Andy. And as I say that, you can see they're starting to pull him back. Very slowly, but they are pulling him back now. It's down to the high 20s. So, yeah, I mean, if they're maintaining it around the 30-metre mark, but he's not pulling it out now like he was earlier. So I think they're going to pull him back here.
I think that 13.9% gradient helped.
Yeah, exactly. I said it was going to ramp up, and sure enough, you can see 14% plus now. So it's ramping up, and I think he's feeling the gradient here. I mean, what we got now, 15%. Yeah, there we go, and it gets even steeper. So, wow. But he's doing a great job. He's still pegging it at 30 metres. This is a great effort. And we're just over the halfway point, but yeah, this is a top effort from Kevin.
And they're dropping Jan.
Yeah, I can see that. So we've got Simon and we've got Roger just behind. I mean, you have to say it's a great ride by Roger Hughes.
Yes.
But yeah, they've dropped Jan Vanner. But I still see the top five. I think Paul Newton is out of it, the lad in sixth place. I don't see Paul coming back. But I do think the top five will. I think they'll all come back together.
Yeah, Paul did quite a big stint at the front for 3R.
Yeah. And I think he's paying for that now. So perhaps we're going to be down to 4 or 5 riders. I'd say 5, because I do think that JS is only 10 metres off the back of Vanner, so I can see this coming back together. But having said that, Kevin is really, really pulling out a good gap here. He's got 50 metres now.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing on his side is that once he gets to the top of the climb and hits that green section, he'll be flying. He can open up, a couple of 100-metre gap. All right, once they hit it, they'll be able to chase, but an opportunity to stay away, especially now that he's gone out now to 60 odd metres. We could be looking at a winning break here.
It's not a bad break.
This is pretty impressive. 72 metres. Oh, I don't know. I don't.
I was the same at lunchtime.
You don't know what to call, do you? I mean, this is pretty exciting.
Yeah, so the lunchtime one, they didn't split like this. They whittled down the group from quite a big group, which was effectively the size of the riders in this particular race, down to about 13 by the end of the second climb, and then by then it was down to 4 or 5. But this is now getting quite a big gap. It's 80 metres.
Yes. I think we could be looking at the winning break here, Andy. I really do.
Good on Kevin.
This is, I mean, it's 90 metres now. It's going out and going out. I'm not going to call it just yet, but this could well be the winning break. We'll see how he does once he gets over the top. Really nice view of the climb though, isn't it?
Yes, it's lovely.
And you can see the riders just coming around the hairpin as we watch Kevin up at the front. So what we got? We got 105 metres now. Ooh. I would say in terms of catching, this is getting dangerous now. I always say that if a rider gets to the top of a climb with 100 metres, and then they've got a steep downhill afterwards, he's probably gone. They're probably not going to get caught. But you can clearly see there's some green. It's not all blue, so it's not all steep downhill. But I'm going to call this and say that Kevin's going to stay away. I'm pretty convinced of that now. 112 metres. They're going to pull it back, obviously, on the downhill somewhat, but I don't think they'll catch him. I think he's got enough now. This gap is going to go out to a couple of 100 metres, maybe even more, by the time he hits this top. They're still going to be on the very steep section, so he's going to be able to pull this gap out.
Yeah, he needs to continue that 4.95 watts per kilo on the
He does,
track.
yeah, and not just sort of like ease off and cruise down. He needs to keep it going. But I think he will. I think he's looking very strong. He's looking very good.
So Jan's back with Simon and Roger.
Yeah. That's a good recovery from Vanna. You have to say that's good riding. And we do know that a small group of 2, 3 or 4 can go downhill much faster than a solo rider. So this is not over yet, but I just have a feeling that Kevin will know that and will put in the watts on the downhill or on the flat section that's coming up. And if he keeps it going, you can see he's in the red now. as he's going over the top. He's reaching the easier part and he's still in the red. So Kevin knows that he has to keep this going. He has to go hard over the top. And that's exactly what he's doing. Look, 5.5 now. So, you know, he's not easing up over the top, which quite honestly, a lot of riders, when they've finished a big climb like that, will do so. But Kevin's still pushing the wattage. Took a bit of a breather there. What we want to see here is we want to see high fours from him. Yep, 4 watt kilos is pushing. And you can clearly see the gap is going out because the other riders are still on the climb. And in fact, they're just getting to the top of the climb now. So now you're going to see the gap coming down. The question is, how fast can they bring this gap down? It's 505 meters, but expect that to start dropping. And in fact, you can clearly see from the numbers already how quickly are they going to be able to pull this back. Already it went from 500 and we're down to 420. It's coming down, it's coming down. We're down to 400 meters almost. And Simon Kerpel's putting in big watts as well. So, but this is where Kevin can take the gap out again. He's on the steep blue section now. And the gap will grow because the other riders are still on the green. And like I say, once I think we've got this next green section. Now this is the biggest opportunity for the riders behind Vanner, Hughes and Kerpel and JS. This is their best opportunity to catch him. If Kevin gets to that blue section with a decent lead, my feeling is that they're going to really struggle to pull him back. And both Simon and Vanner, you can see, are going into the red. So they are really working this, really trying hard.
Mm-hmm.
But they're working well together. Vanner, Kerpel and Hughes are taking turns. I'm watching them on the other screen. They're really working well together as a threesome, trying to bring this back. And in fact, you can clearly see they brought it back to 400 meters now.
Why is Hughes helping?
I don't know, but he's on the front pulling. Yeah, you have to wonder why he's putting in big wattage. Although he's third place rider at the moment, so Jan Vanner's the one that's doing the work behind, and Simon on his wheel. Okay, what we got now?
It's a superb effort from Kevin.
Yeah. Like I say, I think if he gets to this blue section, you know, he's going to take some stopping. It's not over by any means, you know, with that next green section, there's an opportunity there for them to pull him back. But can he maintain this lead on this very steep downhill that he's just about to reach now? Here we go. He's onto the downhill. And you can see that Hughes is basically drafting the other two. Okay, although he's just gone to the front, but no, I think Hughes is playing this pretty cagey. He's not really doing any work on the front. I think when he does go off the front, it's only because I think the dynamics of the race. I don't think he's actually working on the front. Just watching him. But you can clearly see. I mean, 7.4 watt kilos from Kerpel, so he's definitely not wanting. But what's Hughes doing? What's he doing? 5.9 watt kilos. That's silly, Roger. Come on. This is your rider in front. There's no way he should be doing anywhere near that kind of wattage. He's doing 4.7 now. What's he doing? I'm sorry, but I don't understand that. It looks like Kerpel has been temporarily dropped by Roger, Hughes and Vanner.
Yes.
The only thing I can think here is that Roger has got it in his head that he'll jump across, but he's taking Vanner with him. Vanner's just sitting on his wheel. He's not even pedalling. Yeah. I can't help thinking this is the wrong tactic. What do you think, Andy? Do you like this tactic?
No.
I think it's wrong. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to drop Vanner and get across, and then obviously, in fact, he might be doing it. He might be. How far behind? He's 90 meters behind now, but
he's dropped Van.
By how much? By 40 meters? 40 meters.
So yeah. Jan Van's dropped back to Simon.
Yeah, to pull Simon along.
Yep.
But I still don't like Roger's tactic. Yes, he's dropped these two behind him, but if it works, then it's a good tactic, but I'm a little bit concerned that these two could peg him back.
Well, they're pegging him back. There is only 88 meters between the two groups.
Yeah. And you see the gap now to, in fact, Roger Hughes has taken the lead. You want to just go back to the front. Roger Hughes has taken the lead.
Yep.
And pushing huge watts.
Awesome.
So he's obviously trying to help Kevin get away here. Maybe we were wrong, Andy. Maybe he has got the right tactic. If it pays off, then it's the right tactic. If it doesn't pay off, then it's the wrong tactic. But it looks like they're working very well together, these two. What an amazing ride.
Well, you didn't want a boring race at the end, did you?
No, and it certainly isn't. I mean, this is very good riding, I have to say. Apologies if I was a bit negative, Roger, but because this is an amazing ride, mate. I have to say. I just thought it was the wrong tactic, but he's proven me wrong, and I like to be proved wrong. This looks like the best tactic. I mean, the only question is, did Kevin have to sort of like slow and wait for him? Because Vanner and Kerpel are not that far behind. They're only 100 meters behind. and that's closable.
Definitely on this climb as well.
Yeah. And what did I say? I did say about 4 riders would get to the final climb. So
Yep.
let's see if that happens.
Well, they did drop JS quite a way back. He's 650
Yeah.
meters back.
Yeah, he's not coming back anytime soon, and I'm keeping an eye on the riders behind. But to be honest, this is where the main race and the main excitement is going to be. We're going to have some battles a bit later on once this is done, but they're maintaining a nice 140-meter gap here. Yeah, I think the riders are just settling in now. The two OTR boys are doing a nice steady 4 watt kilos plus, as are Vanna and Kerbal behind. So I think we're likely to see this gap staying around this pace until we get to the climb.
So Doug Hart has been providing quite a lot of the timings for this particular group as well. So at the 20k split, John was leading by 35 seconds.
Okay.
So if you're with us, Doug, let us know how they're getting on now with the 31k. And James Ogilvie is going, go Kev, go.
Okay. I mean, if these two can pull this off, then it's absolutely the right tactic and a perfect ride, to be honest.
Oops.
So they're on the all 4 riders now are on the green section, as you can clearly see. So the pace is it's being kept around the 4 watt kilo mark, as I said, 4 watt kilo plus.
Mm-hmm. But Roger's putting in a stormer for Kevin.
Yeah, he's doing all the work on the front. Kevin is just sitting on his wheel. I think what we're going to see here, though, is I think we'll see Kevin probably once they get to the climb, try and open up a gap again.
Yeah.
At least that would be my tactic if I was, because Roger's just put in an absolutely storming effort to get him to the base of this climb with a lead, and it looks like that lead's going to be about the 150 mark. If they can take a bit more, then all the better. But I think it's going to be about 150.
Okay. And Doug is listening, so thank you, Doug.
Okay.
So
good evening, Doug.
At the 31k mark, John's leading them by 1 minute and 18 seconds. That's it. That's outstanding.
I mean,
thanks, Doug.
I watched some of John's ride. I didn't watch it all, but I watched some of John's ride, and I was just blown away with how he just went off. And now this is what I said would probably happen when they hit the climb. So I'm glad I'm able to call these, because Kevin is doing exactly what I said he would. Roger has done his work. He's got him to the base of the climb, and now Kevin's going to try and push and see if he can't pull out a gap on the two riders behind.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's dropped Roger, but I think Roger will try to keep working away to stay away from Vanna and Kerpel for a little while, just in case Kevin gets into difficulty. But this is looking good, but it's too early to call. I mean, they are pulling him back. They've got it down to 120 meters now, and it's falling. And it's falling fast, I have to say. So the two pre-R riders are looking very, very strong. In fact, I have to say I'm worried here, because I do think, looking at the speed with which they're pulling this back, not far behind Roger Hughes now.
Yeah. So Jan's been doing the work for Simon. So Simon's doing what Kevin's just done. So
Yeah,
Jan's dropped, and Simon's going to pick up with Roger and hopefully then go straight past him. He's got to, because he can't work with him,
yeah.
because Roger will just sit on his wheel.
Yeah, Simon's left Vanna behind now. So Jan Vanna's done his work. He will just ride into the finish now. But what's the distance between those two? There's 18 meters between Simon and Roger, and that's coming down. So the question is going to be, is Roger going to try and stall Simon, or is Simon just going to say, I'm having none of that, and go straight past? Very exciting racing here, because Kevin's doing 5 watt kilos is not easing up at all. There you go, look, 4.8, 5 watt kilos. And in fact, even more. 6 meters now between Simon and Roger. And there's the catch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Simon isn't having any nonsense from Roger. He's just gone straight past.
Yep.
Which is what we expected. So 100 meters, 102 meters, give or take. So let's keep an eye on that and see what happens.
Do you want to go to the rear of the field?
Yeah, let's just have a look at some of the other riders, because I think we can come back to this. I think it's going to stay status quo for a little while. So we can have a look at these two riders on the road and then come back to them. But I think further behind we've got an interesting dynamic happening. We've got Paul Newton here,
Yep.
and he's just in front of JS, as you can see. So I think Paul is going to potentially hang on to his 5th place if he can hold off. Well, he's doing more watts than JS behind him, so he might be able to hold him off.
And maybe Jan can help Paul.
Yeah. But then behind you've got that Donaldson, who did a lot of work earlier on. Although he's 230 meters behind, so that's a tough ask.
But he's pulled that 750 meters from that group that he was with before.
Yeah, that's why I'm not counting out the fact that he might well join up with JS.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But then we've got a nice little group. In fact, we've got, who's this just joining them? Safi's just joining this nice group of 4. So 5 riders all together here. We got Pane, Sanderson, Slater, and Saf. And Soderberg, of course. And then just behind them, you've got Tim Moss. Now, has he been distanced, or is he actually closing up on this group? He's holding it at the moment at 30 metres.
Yep.
And then behind Tim, you've got Paul Austin, Murtaugh, and Holder, the Australia rider. And then who's this? Is this Evan?
This is
Evan
Evan.
Oystenson?
Yep.
Yeah. And Evan's in nowhere land again, poor lad. Too far behind his teammate Paul in front, and who's he got behind him?
Paul.
Yeah. Mr. Pudell. And again, he's in nowhere land as well. And then behind Paul, we've got, I think this is Di Pablos, Stolar, and Neil Walker from OTR.
And then Lutz.
Yeah, Luxploiter just behind, with Mike Weston just behind him. You can't see on the screen at the moment, but Mike Weston is just out of view. There he is. Mike will probably join forces as they get to the climb. In fact, as I say that, there you go, Mike. Quite often having a wheel to chase can just make you put in that little bit extra effort, as you can see Mike doing here. And then just behind Mike, we've got Carruthers, and he's on his own, a bit too far back to catch the riders in front, and about a kilometre in front of the next rider on the road, which is the American Furman. And then behind Furman, we've got two riders. We've got Asta and Cavelius. There you go. Cavelius just trying to get onto Asta's wheel. But Asta's doing far more wattage than he is, so he's going to ride away from him. And we got Berm Reynolds, another American. Oh, he's the guy on the upright bike, on the WBR bike. Yeah. Then we've got two riders together, Jeff and Velosa. And we're getting very near to the end of the field now, folks, as well. You've got Jans Drost, the 3R rider, just behind. Then we got Predgen, OTR rider. Lavelle, the OTR rider, giving us a wave as we saw him. And then Geona. Then who have we got? We got Elliot and Flagel riding together. And then one more rider on the road, folks, and that's Mr. Gottman. And he looks to be struggling on this 11% section. Well, let's go back to the front. Let's see what's happening.
200 metres.
So Kevin's pulled it out to 205 metres now. Yeah. So he's increasing his lead.
Not going to get caught.
I don't think he's going to get caught as well. I agree with Yandy. I think this is the winning break now. If he was going to get caught, I think it would have happened earlier. So this has been very, very top draw tactics from OTR. I mean, Kevin owes Roger Hughes a huge pint, I think,
Yes.
for the work he put in. But top tactics all round. So it looks like. Sorry, go on.
No, you go.
It looks like our top sort of like few riders are already sorted. I think we're going to see Kevin coming home in first, obviously, but then I think Simon will manage to maintain his lead over Roger, although that's not a certainty by any means. And then Jan Vanner should be able to hang on to his fourth spot, but that's not a certainty either, because we've got Paul Newton, the 3R rider, in fifth spot. Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit interesting. First spot is tied up, but behind, what do you think? Do you think it will stay status quo?
Yeah, because Roger's not gonna. He doesn't want to catch Simon now and give him a hand going up the climb.
Nah, agreed.
He could stay on his wheel, but he wouldn't want help.
Yeah, and Vanner's not going to. Vanner's task now is to try and stay away from Newton, which he should be able to do if he keeps his. Although Newton's doing slightly higher wattage.
I would expect Paul to go up to Jan and them to work together.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, the main thing for the top five is to stay away from the riders a bit lower down, like JS and Donaldson. Donaldson is always a danger. But yeah, very good racing here. By the way, how did Christine get on earlier? Because she's not obviously riding tonight, so she must have ridden earlier. How did she get on?
She did really well. She got dropped because she was in that front group for a little bit, then got dropped and finished midfield.
But she should have the ladies sewn up, surely.
She should do. She was around the 30s or 40s. So Christine was 39 before today's race.
Okay.
Solly came in ahead of Christine as the first lady.
Okay.
And then you had Carol Sang and Anne Way.
Yeah.
They came in, and then who else came in as well? One of the ladies. Let me just check.
Okay, thanks. How's Dodd doing in the overall?
Dodd.
But I think from what I haven't really been following it like maybe I should have done. But what I have been looking at is Christine's results, and to my mind, she's done more than enough to take the ladies' title.
Yep.
But I could be wrong because I haven't been able to watch the, apart from the few that we've covered together, I haven't been able to watch the earlier runnings of the race. So I don't know how the ladies have done in the earlier runnings. But in the ones that I've seen, Christine has looked by far and away the strongest lady.
Yes. Yeah. So it's Charlie Roberg was the last lady and the last rider from the 12 o'clock ride.
Okay. Now then, the question will be: do you think James will sort out the results tonight, or do you think we'll have to wait till tomorrow?
He said he's going to have a late night. So
Good old James. A good man.
maybe that's just putting him on the spot.
Yeah. To be honest, I wouldn't expect them till tomorrow, but if he's doing them tonight, good on him. I mean, what you have to remember is I'm an hour in front of you guys, so this is going to be a late night for me.
1.86 kilometers to go.
Yeah, but we've got quite a wait for the riders lower down the field. They're all over the. In fact, I tell you what. While we're watching Kevin you watch Kevin at the front. I'll work my way to the back and let's see how far behind the riders are at the tail end of the field. So what we got? We got 6.3 kilometers behind. No, more than that, because we've still got 7. We got 12. Oh no, we got 13 kilometers. 13.8 kilometers for Gottman still to cover. So we're going to be here a while, Andy.
Yep.
That's if you want to stay. I mean, I'm happy to stay. If you've got somewhere to go, we can always end the broadcast early.
We got Simon. You can see Simon roughly in parallel now with Kevin, but on the lower slope.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a great view you've got there.
And he's just gone out of shot.
Yeah, but that's a great view overhead there.
2 little dots.
Yeah, he's not going to get caught now. He's a 396 meters lead, and to be honest, the top 7, the top 7 should be able to maintain their places. There might be a couple of switches around, but I would say that's going to stay as is.
So I would say Kevin's going to increase his FTP.
On this ride, you think so?
Yeah. Unless he's 300 plus already.
Well, he's definitely I mean, this is a very, very strong ride, and he's not been afraid to go into the red. I mean, we did worry, was he doing too much too early? But yeah, he's still not afraid to go into the red. So
yeah, James saying that Roger Hughes is now his new hero. There's the kite.
Roger deserves a big pat on the back from all his teammates for the work he did tonight, because that was, I genuinely believed it was the wrong tactic initially until I saw and worked out exactly what he was doing. But he knew what he was doing, and he knew he could do it. And to have that kind of confidence, especially up against a rider like Jan Vanner, who's, he's no slouch. That was very impressive. In fact, for me, it was the ride of the day. So, yeah. Well, no, perhaps not the ride of the day, because you've got to give that to John Beams. I mean, that was just stunning earlier. So you're gonna have to give James a name for the most aggressive rider as well. Your call.
Ooh. So
I'm putting you on the spot, aren't I?
I think there are 2 now. Arhem is definitely one of those.
Yes, I agree.
And I think John's in there. He's always been there for the team.
Yeah. But if you remember what I said to you earlier, because John's got, I mean, I would give John the most aggressive rider without a shadow of a doubt.
Yep.
And I've said that in commentary. He's definitely won it. But the fact that he's won the overall, the GC, I don't think John will mind us picking another rider.
I don't think John's won GC.
Sorry?
I don't think John's won GC.
Which John you talking?
John Beams.
Yeah, he's got second, hasn't he?
He's second. He hasn't won it.
Well, give it to John then.
Yeah.
He's got to be the most aggressive rider then.
Yeah, Henrik pegged him down, so they didn't get that far away from each other.
Of course. My apologies, John. I apologise. Yes, of course. You're in second spot. So, yeah, most aggressive rider's got to go to John.
Yep.
Definitely.
Kevin goes over the line. Wow.
And there's Kevin. Well done, Kev. Brilliant ride, mate. Absolutely brilliant ride.
That's superb.
We got Simon. 470 metres left to ride. Looking strong. Still doing 4.7 watt kilos. So still got good legs. This has been a great race, Andy. I think the two teams playing the tactics they did, 3R and OTR, were just brilliant. It's made for a very exciting race. And to be honest, it could have gone either way, couldn't it? Right up until Kevin got that big break with the help of Roger.
If that was planned, that was a game changer.
Yeah, that was what decided it. And we weren't sure of the tactics, but they knew exactly what they were doing. So, brilliant ride.
And Simon has been incredible as well. So he will keep his third place, because the next one along was DeLonghi, who went earlier on and got dropped.
Yeah, but Simon's deserved this. Yep. I mean, he's ridden well every stage I've watched him in.
Mm-hmm.
So this is well deserved. And look at this finish, 5.3 watt kilos. You know, he's not taking anything for granted. He's coming to the line hard and strong. Well done, Simon.
Well done.
Yeah. Very impressed with that rider, I have to say. Very impressed. And here's Roger coming in now. And I think Roger's deserved this third spot today for all the work he's put in.
Yeah, you've got to give it to Jan, though. Jan put himself out right from the offset to help Simon.
Yeah.
Put everything in. But
and
yes.
I mean, I don't know whether you saw Jan yesterday, but he
Yes.
put in a stunning performance yesterday as well.
Yep.
So he did a lot of work. All right, he didn't finish, on the front, but he definitely put in a lot of work. But I'm just so impressed with Roger's ride today and the team tactics. It's not often you see them actually work out the way the riders probably planned, but I think this was perfect.
Yeah, incredible. Well done, Roger. Superb effort.
Well done, Rog. Yeah. And who have we got next? We got Paul Newton.
Mm-hmm.
So as I say, we're gonna be around for quite a while because we've got a couple of riders well down the field.
Yeah, at the 12 o'clock we had riders still on the second hill when the guys had finished.
Well, I think the rider that's you can see on the middle hill is Gottman. I think he's on that climb now.
Is it not both of us? Because
Oh, is it us that are on
well,
there?
I
Okay.
think yeah, I changed my weight, which you
Okay.
recommended, so I'm only doing 1.6.
Okay.
So it may be just us two on the second climb.
It will because I thought if you hadn't have changed, you'd have been up near the front. So yeah, okay. So he's obviously that guy that's in the middle of the green then at the moment.
Yeah, I just need to remember when I'm racing on RGT to change it back.
Yeah. Okay, well done, Paul. Paul goes over the line.
Yeah, super.
Next rider on the road, JS. And he's putting in the red numbers along with Donaldson trying to catch him. So Donaldson is putting in a big effort here trying to catch him. But he's not going to do so.
No.
Ooh, excuse me. So well done, JS. He gets 5th spot, and then we've got Donaldson in 6th, just coming up to the line. Yeah, steep little finish, isn't it?
Yes.
Throw that bump. Yeah. So 1 hour 26 of riding, and Donaldson comes over the line. And then we got Jan next up.
Yep.
13.7%, 13.8, 13.9, 14%. This is just cruel. 1 hour 27 minutes and he's driving up a 14% slope. Yeah, okay. Who's responsible for the course today? Is it one of Paul's or is it Samir's?
I've no idea. I wouldn't know where to look.
Okay. I'll have a look later. It's probably one of Paul's, knowing this kind of finish. But here we go. Big shout out to both course builders, by the way, while we're waiting for Jan to come over the line. Both Samir and Paul Nichols.
Mm. Yep.
Wonderful work they've done on these courses. So Jan Vanner coming over the line.
Well done, Jan.
That's been a good ride. Well done. Working for his team. And then we've got Panay.
And Saf.
Who's a rider? And Saf. This is a very good ride from Saf.
Mm-hmm. He's going to go past.
And a good strong finish as well. Yeah, this is a very good ride. To come back the way he has. So Saf obviously going to take the 8th spot. And a very strong finish in the red. But there must be a lot of tired legs out there now.
Oh, yeah.
So Saf goes over the line ahead of just picked Panay, who's now approaching the line. We never really noticed this rider during the race, to be honest. Kind of rider that just kept himself busy in the middle of the group.
Yeah, he was in the
Sanderson.
So Sanderson.
Sorry, Andy.
Yeah, Sapane was in the first group, and they got dropped.
Right. And then Sanderson just coming over the line.
Yep. He's over the line. Another OTR rider over the line.
Yeah.
So, message from Christoph. Congrats all, and thanks to OTR for organising the rides, for making it fun. Fun? And from Roger, that hurt, but Super Don duty's done. And Paul Nichols built the route.
Yeah, I thought so. And it seemed like one of Paul's. Yeah. No, this is, for me, this has been a very enjoyable stage because of the tactics at play and the fact that the tactics worked.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful ride.
Yep. And then comes Per.
Yeah. And again, for such a small field, I mean, we only had 46 riders on the line, 43 or 46. To get such a big turnout of OTR riders again, I'll just remind everybody, OTR have had the most riders from any one team on every single stage, which is an amazing statistic. So Per's just gone over the line, and then his teammate Paul. Is it Paul or is it Peter?
It's Peter.
Peter Austin. I always get them two mixed up, but so yes, OTR by far and away the biggest turnout, but also big shout out to the other teams with large turnouts. Peddlers, Rasio Racing, Moonriders, the most notable, should I say, of all the teams. And that's Peter going over the line, and then we got Southern District Wheelers rider Tim Moss.
So Robin Sanderson saying he feels sick. Amazing rides, Kevin and Roger. And almost as amazing rides as others. So excellent. Peter Austin saying yuck.
There should be some proud riders tonight because, like I say, this has been one of the more enjoyable stages that I've watched and commentated on. So Tim putting in a big red effort to go over the line. Nice to see. And then we got another 3R rider. In fact, we've got two 3R riders. Are they going to go over the line together? Oh no, Evan's giving us a wave, look.
No.
No, they're not. But there you go. But I mean, there's not much between them. Here we go. This is it Simon Murtaugh?
I think so.
Yeah. So Simon's going over the line.
Well done.
Just before Evan.
Yep. Evan, well done.
Well done, sir. I mean, that's a good team performance.
Yes.
From the 3R guys.
Yeah, there's
Very
a lot of 3R. But it's interesting that the midnight race and the 6 a.m. race had a lot fewer riders.
Yeah. Generally, the midnight race only has a very small handful of riders. sometimes on 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock your time, 7 o'clock my time. Generally on the 7 o'clock running, you get certainly a decent turnout, not a big turnout, but a decent turnout. But I think John running this morning and bringing some of his teammates with him, that was obviously planned, as we watched Di Pablos just going over the line.
Yep.
Yeah, that was obviously part of the planning for them to go this morning, and I wonder if John actually expected to take the overall for the day by going at the time he did. Interesting to ask him. We watched Stolar going over the line. Good ride, sir.
Yep. And then Paul.
And then Paul and his teammate Neil just behind. Paul's had a bit of bad luck as well in this tour, you know.
Yes.
He's done well, but he's also had some bad luck.
Yeah, if we can
'Cause I
help
think-
RGT to solve some of these little glitches, maybe it won't be
Yeah.
as bad for other riders in future.
Well, I think Paul's way down on the GC,
Well
and
done,
he's a
Paul.
much better rider than that.
Yep. Very.
I think you'll agree with me there. He's a much better rider than the GC suggests.
Yeah, when I watch OTR Blue, Paul is the only one that's doing really low cadence and high watts.
Yeah.
So he can put in the power. But
Yeah, I mean, last year, Paul was very, very strong in the overall. As we watch Lux and joining his team, in fact, going past his teammate. Here they go. They're gonna finish together, these two.
hope so.
But there's been a few. Sorry, Andy, we keep cutting each other off. There's been a few riders in this tour this year that I think, for whatever reason, be it technicals or whatever, haven't managed to get the positions they deserved. I mean, another rider, I'll give you a name, Per Soderberg. He's
Yep.
another rider I think deserves to be higher up the GC than what he actually is.
Yes.
Because he's had a couple of technicals that have caused him to drop down. So there we go, the two OTR boys over the line,
Yeah, and that's
and then we got the Australian. Here, your screen looks to have locked up. Oh no, we're back.
Yep.
Giving us a wave. 100 meters left to cycle. And very tired legs.
and I think our stream has finished
Oh, okay.
by the looks of it.
Okay, well, we're not going to get to see the last riders coming in then.
I don't know what
Do you
happened.
Do you want to wrap it up there, Andy?
I think we are not streaming anymore from the sounds of it. So yeah, incredible. Derek, you've been absolutely amazing, bringing
It's been a pleasure, mate.
bringing everyone to life. It feels like I know these riders forever, and that's what your commentary does.
Thank you, sir. You're too kind. But I've really enjoyed it, Andy. I really have. It's been a treat because I didn't expect to be available as much as I was, but thankfully managed to stave off the second of the bad colds I had, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and it's done me good as well to commit to it all. So hopefully we will work together further in the season.
Yes, hope so.
Okay, sir. You take care,
Cheers, Derek.
and I'll catch you later.
Yep. Take care. Bye.
Good night, everybody. Bye bye.